The Maldives, an assortment of over 1,000 islands you can find in the Indian Ocean, is known for its serene blue waters, peaceful, almost wallpaper-perfect beaches that go on as far as you can see, and of course, lavish bungalows that are located over the water. However, there are some downsides to the place too. Here are 7 reasons why you should never visit the Maldives. Before we continue, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It isn't cheap. The Maldives is often known for being an exclusive, highly opulent destination, but it's actually totally possible to tour the Maldives with limited cash. However, when you stay at a guest house or inn, just remember that the price you pay won't be what you see. There's a hidden tax of 12% that's charged on just about everything. There are ways to save money too, but they're limited. In terms of prices, it's usually cheapest to visit from May to November, otherwise you could end up paying a lot more than you'd initially planned throughout your stay. If you're absolutely sure you want to visit, the best time to visit is March or April, with the exception of the Easter holiday. However, don't expect a bargain. For many reasons, the Maldives is not a cheap site. The prices are extremely high, mostly because of the cost of resorts. The expenses are also vast because the Maldives is a collection of islands where the local people and workers need to import literally everything from food to other necessities. Finally, the popularity of the tourist destination makes the Maldives expensive. When you're in demand, prices automatically go up. Alcohol is restricted. This could possibly be a shock and a huge downer to many expecting tourists, but alcohol is prohibited on all local islands. Maldives is a Muslim country, so the locals can't interact with alcohol in any way as their religion strictly forbids it. Not only is its consumption banned for them, they also can't sell alcohol. So if you choose to spend your time on a local island instead of a resort in an attempt to save money, you better enjoy this vacation totally sober. However, there is a loophole to this rule in some areas in the Maldives. For instance, there's a pretty smart solution to this dilemma. They have an offshore boat there, stationed if anyone needs a free transfer. There, you can drink to your heart's filled desire with no consequential problems. It's not land, so technically, it's kind of allowed. No one will make any trouble for you. Climate change is a problem. If your heart is absolutely set on the Maldives as a dream destination, you should probably book your tickets ASAP. The reason for this is, it might not be here much longer. In fact, dozens of islands have already been eaten up and wiped off the face of the earth thanks to unavoidable erosion from the sea. Natural disasters such as the infamous Indian Ocean tsunami of 2004, and of course, who could forget about the rising sea levels? As if that wasn't bad enough, coral is geologically the foundation for the majority of the islands here, and coral is very sensitive to instability and shifts in ocean and sea temperatures, which are rapidly increasing here, and this will affect the Maldives even more than the rest of the world since it's, well, an archipelago. Even though it will be a while before the islands start tearing apart, there's a scarcity of usable water as a result of the salty seawater coming in the way of freshwater aquifers, also putting the island at high risk of flooding, which will be dangerous. There's few ways to make it out of a flood, let alone a tsunami. Do you really want to take your chances? Even if these facts aren't scary and off-putting enough, for many of the leftover saved islands, soil erosion continues to be a huge issue, so you can expect to see seawalls put up around the islands to help break harsh high waves. There'll also be pumps on the beaches to pump sand back onto the beach as a last-ditch effort to slow down the natural erosion process. Other things that are also not allowed. Homosexuality is not only frowned upon here, it's straight up illegal in this conservative country. Women aren't allowed to wear bathing suits or any sort of clothes that show a lot of skin, meaning nothing with bare elbows, shoulders, or knees while roaming around the towns and cities. Other things you can't do include consuming pork or any product with pork in it. Public displays of affection and any sort of physical love are all illegal and punishable by law. While they are usually a little easier on clothing rules for tourists coming in from all over at the airport, you know how the saying goes, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, or in this case, Maldives. It's better to be respectful when in a strange country. Remember that, and dress at least somewhat modestly as you go past the airport and to your resort. If your game plan includes staying in hotels and mall or any other bigger populated islands, you'll be expected to live by these laws at all times, because eventually you'll be leaving your hotel. After all, you didn't come here for the hotels. But if you don't like abiding by conservative rules and having a few restrictions placed on you, then Maldives probably isn't the place for you. The drinking water. As the scarce usable water in the Maldives falls victim to climate change, drinking water is becoming a bigger problem day by day. Resorts here have found ways to keep matters at bay for now, but it comes with some disadvantages. Most of the water you'll be consuming in this idyllic vacation spot will have been recycled, then treated, and made usable through a process called reverse osmosis desalination. This makes the water all right to drink. On the other hand, it takes out all the natural essential minerals that come with water, making it it a little less healthy. Some resorts claim they remineralize their water, but there's no way to be sure. Why is this so bad? Because when you sweat on the island, which you will, your body releases precious salts and minerals, and the water won't replenish them. You'll feel weak and tired all the time. You're at risk of dehydration too. Still think that trip to the Maldives will be fun? You can't even find Gatorade or any sports drink there. They aren't available. You could pick up some rehydration salt at the pharmacy, but who wants to do that? Planes are also expensive. Your plane from the Mal airport to wherever you're going to be staying will probably take around 15 minutes, but if you think that should automatically mean it's cheap, you're wrong. We were pretty taken aback when we found out the price of the short plane journeys. In some instances, return airfare on an airplane can even be more than $800 to $1,000 per person. And to think some people come here thinking it'll be cheap. Depending on which country you come from, this could double your expected fare for the flight. Some say that the beautiful and unique views are worth the hype and the money. However, don't be shocked if you show up at the airport seaplane terminal after a long flight of 12 or even more hours just to wait for another 4 hours for your seaplane to begin its flight. Why? Well, because of the way the flights go around and the constantly changing pickups and drop-offs. There's no actual schedule for these flights. In fact, they only get some vague clue as to the flight routing just the night before the flights are meant to happen, which sounds like a real hassle. Who would want to put themselves through that uncertainty and trouble? Do remember that the airport has very few features too. Once you see it, you'll dread the hours you're stuck there even more. Rough weather. Here, the dry season happens from December to March. You can be sure of low rainfall, little humidity, and lots of sunshine. Hey, at least you'll get your full dose of vitamin D and an enviable tan if nothing else. The wet season comes from around May to November, and this is an even worse time than usual to be in the Maldives. It brings with it plenty of rain, harsh winds, and brutal thunderstorms. Yikes! But hey, on the bright side, prices are lower during these months. Due to recent climate change, in the last few years, the weather has been much harder to predict. For example, there was one year with lots of rain in November and December. So experts now advise that if you absolutely have to, you may as well go in the wet season or in the transitional period. Remember those sweet discounts you'll get, but with a likelihood of horrible weather conditions. Alright, that's it for today. Leave a comment down below and let us know what you think. Are you going to be visiting the Maldives anytime soon, or have we given you a couple things to think about? Before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We hope you enjoyed watching. Until next time,